Scottie Go is an augmented reality application which we use at Learning Factory for teaching coding. This application allows you to understand the principles of coding using syntax, coding languages, and be able also to relate what's happening in the real world with what's happening in code. So I'm going to give a brief demonstration of how Scottie works. To begin with, Scottie Go needs to be installed onto a mobile device. So I've got my mobile phone and I've loaded Scottie Go onto the phone. So I'm just going to open the application. It is a bit of a heavy application, so it will take a bit of time to open. So there you go, that's Scottie Go. Scottie Go. So the idea behind Scottie Go is that Scottie is an imaginary character who is making his way around the world and you're assisting him to go around. So we're going to start by choosing a player. And I'll choose Scottie, who's an existing player. I can create a new player. And let's go, we're in Europe. And let's go. There we go. So it's going to give you some ideas on how to develop code. So it gives you tips as you go along. When you begin, it starts very basic, and as you proceed, it becomes more complex. And that's one tip, which is showing you the kind of coding or the level of coding that you're going to need for this experience. So I'm just going to flip through quickly. Great. And here's our experience. So Scottie is that imaginary blue character there. And essentially what we need to do is to allow assist Scottie to go from where he is to the X. So simply he needs to take a few steps to get to X, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps to get to X. So we need to write code which allows Scottie to get from where he is to the X. And take note of the direction he's facing. He's facing in the direction of X, so he just needs to move straight. If he wasn't facing in the direction of X, he would need to make some turns. So simply he's making 10 steps. And to do that, we begin each code with the begin block. So we put begin, and then he needs to take some steps. So he's going to take some steps. How many steps is he going to take? He needs to take 10 steps. So we've got numbers here going from 0 to 9, and we've got a few extras. Right. So we've got options. We can either have him do 10 steps by putting the 1 and the 0, or we can add numbers. 10 is a combination of 1 plus 9, so 1 plus 9 would give us 10, or any other combination which gives us 10. So he takes 10 steps, and then what? He's there, so we can end the code. So we put our end right there, and that's our block of code. So the next thing is we need to now scan the code. So you'll notice in the corner there's a camera. So we go over our code, press the camera. It's going to show us our block of code there, and you can see it's read our code. You just need to make sure that these are out of the way so that they're not read unintentionally. Okay, so just shove those out of the way, and let's read our code once again. So there we go, we've got it. Begin, step 1, 0, end. And then we take a photo of that, and then we play. So I'll move it closer to the camera. So when we play that code, and that's simply what Scottie does. So this game is used not just to teach coding, but it's also used to teach arithmetic. So in this case, we took the simple route where we said steps, 1 plus 0. But you'll get more complex codes where you do not have the 1 plus 0 and you need to do some addition or some subtraction. So we could have said 4 plus 6. Right. And the result is the same. So when you've got younger learners, you would encourage them to do some arithmetic, get to practice adding and subtracting numbers, and you'll find that as the adventures become more complex, it's not so easy to just pick a number and place it there. You need to do some addition, some subtraction, etc. You'll find also as the codes become even more complicated that Scottie needs to turn. So instead of him facing the direction that he intends to go, he might be facing up. So he needs to make a turn and then start walking. And that's where you get blocks of code such as turn right, turn left. As it gets even more complicated, you get blocks of code like pick up and jump. Where there's an obstacle, he needs to jump over an obstacle and proceed along his way. So this is one of the things that we use for teaching coding, but it's also very helpful when you're teaching elementary arithmetic.